Nileshji, one question I wanted to ask you because again I want to go back to my book, Janya Bharata, the war.
Yeah.
But I'm also writing my second book now,
Yeah.
Janya Bharata, the deluge,
Huh.
which is around the theme is around Dwarka, submersion, and etc. As part of my research, of course, I followed your videos a lot to gain understanding, and some other videos across on YouTube and everywhere. So one question that always comes up: where was Dwarka? Yes, there is a notion that it's not the current Dwarka, but there is also a notion, or somewhere I came across, where Dwarka could be actually on the southern part of Gujarat, in ocean somewhere, or is it in the northwest? Where do you think, or is it just as you mentioned, cities may change based on tribes when they move, or communities when they move? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you are the expert on this, so I would like to ask you.
Correct. So one quick point I will say is just like we discussed Professor B.B. Lal and carbon dating and this. There was another great individual, Professor S.R. Rao.
S.R. Rao,
You have heard about him, right? Okay. And he was given a very small budget. I forgot, like 80,000 rupees or something. I mean, that time it may be a lot of money, but still, even then, not a lot of money for oceanography type of study. Anyway, so he did a study, and you know where he did, and I understand why somewhere you have to start. But not knowing the knowledge of Mahabharata or even otherwise, or whatever the circumstances, he did under the ocean digging or exploration near Bet Dwarka, where current Krishna Mandir is. Okay, and what he found, just like Bibila's like 3 locations, he found certain objects which were dated either through carbon dating or appropriate techniques. There are depending on what you find, you have to find a technique. But that's reliable, or we should consider reliable, unless I have some other way to know that hey, that's not reliable, and here is why. It dated to about 200 BCE.
That where he did the
near Bet Dwarka. Now that entire area, if you go last 2,000, 3,000 years, 4,000 years, there is business going on with Rome. I mean, that's well known, like Indus Valley civilization last phase. But before that, actually, we have evidence that it is a very old place going back to at least 30,000 years based on the archaeology data, the kind of data they have a trust in. So they shouldn't be surprised. But back to Professor S.R. Rao, so he found certain objects there in the Bet Dwarka area. They were dated to about 200 BC. And lo and behold, and I cannot understand this, what's challenge of archaeologists or problem. Then he started saying, and I have an interview preserved, I will send it to you sometime. I mean, it's a very sad and unfortunate in a way. In the way, like, people should think before going out and giving an interview. So he's saying, the people ask him, so do you feel that this is Krishna's Dwarka? He said, yeah, absolutely, I feel Krishna's Dwarka. And what is the timing? Well, it's a 200 BC, but he doesn't say 200 BC. Then he quotes some B.B. Lal date or something like this.
1000 BC
and it's a mess. And it's a mess. And both are wrong. So I want to say, again, they are very good at digging. They are very good at dating, but a royal disaster when connecting the dots. Because this is a backward way of trying to find the date. Therefore, actually, why astronomy is a superior. The internal evidence of astronomy evidence from this text is superior. Because there is no ifs and buts. The evidence is that powerful. But I forgot the question. So what was your point? Oh, yeah. Where is the location of Dwarka? The location of Dwarka, based on, I'm just putting all cumulative evidence together, is here. Obviously not Bet Dwarka. That is now whatever survived, they built it for whatever reason. If you think of it, from Bet Dwarka, come down along that the lower half of Gujarat that you see. Kutch. No, from there, come towards Somnath.
Down, south.
And just stop at Somnath. Take a stop at Somnath. And just imagine you are at Somnath and looking at the sea in the west direction. All you have to do is look at the west direction and slightly move to the southwest. And then you have to start swimming for about 10 to 15 kilometers, something like that, inside the sea. And that's where Krishna's Dwarka is.
Close enough. I mean, it's 15 kilometers from Somnath.
Yes.
But you say that's where
it is. And the reason I say that is Krishna's Dwarka, Dwaravati, is defined, is described as an island. Many bridges connecting the mainland. Now we have to go back 7,500 years ago, like 5525 BC. That's when it was destroyed. And so if you look at the sea levels, especially in that ocean area, it has gone, I mean, sea level there increased about 23 meters.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Like,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. And what happened is, this is not just my research. Graham Hancock and Glenn Milne. Glenn Milne is a Canadian geologist.
Yes.
You know, he used to be Ottawa, now at Toronto, University of Toronto. And so bathymetric data that Glenn Milne and Graham Hancock looked at, there is that island, the location I'm mentioning, 15 kilometers sort of southwest of Somnath, is where there was the island, that bathymetric study you can see, and it disappeared between that 7700 BP to 6900 BP according to their study, and 5525 falls right in between.
Wow.
So I'm saying that's Krishna's Dwarka.
Wow, that's amazing, and this is definitely interesting for everybody else and for me too. So thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
confirming that.